All right. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome to Procrastinating with PJ. I'm your host, Jay Spiels, and today we're going to go in depth with procrastination as a whole. Now, procrastination is just one of those mysterious forces we have in human nature. It's pretty much unexplainable, but I'd say every single person has done it at least once in their whole life. And it's just a mysterious force that we have in human nature. Overall lifespans, at least every person will procrastinate at least once, whether it's for their job or for school or maybe just everyday chores. But, I mean, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but I'd say in most cases, consequences are pretty dire. It can cause a lot of stress and failures, but if it's so bad and unhealthy, why do we do it? What's the point of doing something that's just self sabotaging ourselves in the future? And honestly, I hope today that I can kind of solve this problem by getting a little few outsider points. But I mean, before that, I think it's pretty healthy to go into the cause of procrastination. Procrastination starts in the mind. It's all about the human mind. Different people have a different ideology when it comes to procrastination. Through the research that I've done over the past few weeks, I've normally got around the same answers. Most people see procrastination as a way to feel good in the moment rather than in the long run. And I mean, I think that we can all feel and understand this. Like, why put yourself through so much stress when you can just feel good in the moment? Especially being a college student, I can say that I'm stressed all the time. And sometimes I just get overworked and I just want to sit there and watch Netflix or enjoy myself. So I'd rather be happy in that couple of hours than in the long run. But I mean, it never really works. I mean, even with this, in the end, I realize that I run out of time and there's a couple hours left and everything just kind of fucking collapses. Pardon my language, sorry, but everything just collapses. And especially when it comes to school, when you're close to that couple hour deadline and you have nothing to show for it, you're just destined to get a bad grade. But if it's not for school, it could be for a job or even your life. I mean, you could just ruin everything. Over the professors I've talked to and certain psychologists that I've found around their websites, people see procrastination as a sort of two-person system, but mainly with you. There's two versions of yourself. You have your present self and your future self. And that present self just wants to feel good right where he is. He doesn't want to worry about the future. He doesn't think about the future. But no matter what he does, he ends up sabotaging the future self. A good example is weight loss, using weight loss. The present self doesn't want to sit there and eat vegetables or crap or good food. They want to eat crappy food. But then there's always that ideology that if they do eat good, then their future self is going to be fit and healthy and it's going to make them feel good when they do it. Or also, just like this whole project, an example. We've had multiple weeks to do it, and here I am on the last couple of days just kind of piecing everything together. I didn't want to sit here on a weekend and work on this. I want to just enjoy myself and have a good time. But while my present self is having a blast, my future self is kind of just breaking down on the day before the deadline, and then it just kind of ruins your whole mood. I think one of the best ways to say it is a psychologist named Fuchsia Cyrus of a university in Canada says that I think the mood regulation piece is a huge part of procrastination. If you're focused just on trying to get yourself to feel good now, there's a lot you can miss out in terms of learning on how to correct behavior and avoid similar problems in the future. If you have if you always do this, I mean, for me personally, I've always done it in high school, and it's not helping very much in college. I've always been the same way, and it's harder to fix it now than it probably would have been if I just learned how to do it in the past. And it's interesting because procrastination has always been a huge thing, but we only really start to look at it around recently. I mean, it's been around since 800 BC. There was a Greek poet. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Hesiod. He wrote around 800 BC. He said, "Put your work off till tomorrow, and do not put your work off till the day tomorrow and after." And it's always been here. They've always been saying that there's no need to wait. Just do it while you can, or you're never gonna get it done. And I think it comes around to the main question is, why do we procrastinate? Why do we sit here and do stuff that we don't want to do? Yeah, it makes us feel good, but what causes it? And really thinking about it, I think it's technology. As we advance our societies, I feel like technology is the reason that procrastination grows so stronger. I mean, I guarantee if anyone's listening to this, if you look down or look around, there's some sort of device around you. Or for me, like, for example, my phone is literally right below me, and I'm getting notifications while I'm recording this. And I see these notifications popped up, and I mean, I just want to look at them. I want to stop doing what I'm doing and just focus on that. And I mean, technology, while some smartphones are like made for, making calls or making sure you're okay, but technology is a constant distraction in our society today. I mean, if you think about smartphones, game consoles, computers, TVs, we're all just surrounded by this technology that's pure purpose is entertainment. It's kind of hard to focus when you have all this stuff going on around you that you would rather do than work on what you have to actually work on to succeed. I also think, especially like being in college, I think your work area is a very big part of procrastination. I know for me personally, sitting in my room, I can't get anything done to save my life. There's so much constant distractions with like my TV on or my computer being there, or even my roommate just being loud. Finding somewhere quiet to work, I feel like is always the hardest part. But going to like the library, or just doing something quiet where there's nothing there, I feel like it's just something. It's quiet. I can focus better when I'm in a quiet area. And I think it's also like it's a big thing in college. If you didn't learn how to not do it in high school, it's gonna suck in college. Cause like in high school, your teachers like there's always someone like making sure you do something, like harping down on you to get your work done or do this or do that. But in college, I mean, it's just all you. You have to do your work. So I mean, if you don't want to do it, you're just not gonna do it. It's just I don't know. It's really just that. But so we know, why procrastination helps and all this, but how do we fix it? And I feel like that's for each person to find out. There's no real way to fix it. It's just how you do it. And I feel like each person has their own answers and solutions. And that's why I wanted to interview a couple people. I interviewed some students that go to Stout. I interviewed a couple that go to school in Milwaukee. And I interviewed someone that's just in the workforce. And from the interviews, almost actually all of them had procrastinated at least on something in their life. And while it didn't have a drastic effect on their future, it had some sort of effect in their life. Whether it be like they failed for a test or a class. But when I talked to them, I normally got the exact same answer. I asked them, how do you fix your problem? Or how do you focus? And it was, normally they just didn't have one. Or they never found one that worked. They just suffered from the same problems. Just being in college, having technology, not thinking or anything like that. But the most things that I got from them was go to a quiet area. Like try to distance yourself from technology. Don't have anything that could distract you. And I feel like that's just as our society, it's pretty much impossible. Like finding a quiet area is not that difficult, but I feel like it's hard to be without your phone or do something and just focus on your work, especially when you don't want to do the topic. And I mean, I look at myself and it's like I still do this to this day. Like I would rather have fun with my friends, go out, party, do stuff than sit at home and do homework by myself all night. So I wouldn't say that my research was a failure, but I mean, when I look back at all my stuff, I really didn't learn how to deal with procrastination. And most of the interviews I said just all, or most of the research I did all said the same thing, and it was just focus, get rid of all this. But I mean, is it really that easy just to get rid of everything and just focus when you don't want to do it in the first place? And I feel like it's just down to who you are as a person and how long you've been training it for. And I think in the end, it's just like if you want to stop procrastinating, you just have to want to stop procrastinating, I guess. It's like you just have to sit down and just realize that you have to do the work no matter what. And really, that's all I've honestly got. Every interview, they didn't have a solution, and they were still struggling with procrastination to this day. And even I do too, and I don't know a solution. But I think I wonder. Just final question is like, as a society, is there a way that we could stop procrastination as a whole? Is technology hindering our learning on it? And I mean, in conclusion, I hope that I can one day learn how to not procrastinate, but overall, I really didn't learn how to do it. So, honestly, that'll conclude today's episode on procrastination. I hope you have a great night. Bye bye.